Hello. It's I welcome Dr. Apoorva Palkar and Alankar Joshi and Samudragupta Talukdar and his team to this meeting of sort of a review of what we did, sort of express our thanks to those who have helped us during this program. I'll give short introduction. Actually, none of them actually need introduction. Dr. Apoorva Palkar is a well-known personality. She is Director of Innovation, Incubation and Linkage at SP University, Pune University, and she was instrumental in forming an association between Pune University and Garje Marathi. I thank Dr. Apurva a lot for that. And she is not only connected with Pune University, but she is Pune University's this program, but she is also on many boards. She is connected with Mumbai University also in an advisory capacity. So, Dr. Apurva, thank you very much. And the main reason why she is here because she is the one who introduced us to Samudragupta Talukdar and his team. Our, I would like to introduce our leader, the one who initiated this program, venture capitalist and whatnot. He is actually a chemical engineer from UDCT, I suppose, and then after that, he entered into management side. He is on many boards. He has many startups which he is currently running. And for the Garje Marathi's acceleration program, he was instrumental. Actually, Samudragupta did not attend our entire program. He joined midway, and but we really welcome him. Startup brought a lot of interest in many people, and his tagline is that cracking growth through fine customer experience that attracted many. With these few words, I would request Samudragupta to take over today's proceeding. Over to you, Samudragupta.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you very much, Anand Ganu sir, for this introduction. I really thank Dr. Apoorva Palkar ma'am, who had been guiding us through the last couple of years since our inception at Pune University. And I also thank Alankar for guiding us through this program. We joined mid, that's what we understand. But throughout being a startup who had been looking to deliver more onto the milestones, we got a lot of insights. In fact, all the sessions starting, my first session was starting with the go-to-market strategy and from the North metrics to financials and how to go ahead with the pitch deck. I suppose we had been trying to formulate a pitch deck for almost 6 months and to convey our story. And the most difficult part was although we had good numbers to showcase, we had good customers to talk about our program, we had many things, but the story was not coming up. And it was in the event of Garje Marathi where we found the story which we need to communicate and how things to come get attracted. All the sessions which were like linked with morning 7:30 a.m. India timing were very much insightful for me and the whole team at Cognilements. So being a bootstrap startup and looking forward to raise funds in near few months, this acceleration program was an amazing thing happened with us. And, with God's grace and with all the support from our mentors, guides, we found that whatever the missing elements were there, which was right, creating a bumpy roads for our discussions with a lot of VCs, got cleared in the nicest manner. And that's where we started with.
Great. Dr. Apurva, you have very special interest in this startup. I know you have nurtured them from beginning. So I would like to get your take on Samudragupta and his team's inputs, their future. What do you want to guide them and what do you want to suggest them? Over to Dr. Apurva.
Samudra has been with me for quite some time now. So again, the story is the same. When he walked into my office through one of my connects, who is one of the mentors with me. The first pitch that he made to me, I saw the passion that he had. And also, what really excited us to associate with Cognilements was the fact that the kind of team members that they have with them. It's purely not just the locals, but also a mix of people from across India and from good institutions in India. So that's one thing that excited me to be associated with this particular company. And second important thing, of course, the team is very important. And second important thing that I found, that there was a lot of value in the kind of work that he was doing and the way in which he pivoted in the pandemic. I saw that growth in his business during the times when most of these startups were really struggling to understand what to do next, is where I saw a lot of traction. And with that, the association started. And then while I was speaking with you, Anand, I found that, this was one company that had potential, where in Marathi we call as, palle aad jata येईल का. So can we really look at cross border? So I thought that this was one startup I could really pitch to the community outside India, and where there could be some kind of a help and support in terms of nurturing. Of course, we're doing the nurturing, but in the nurturing, if it comes from the best brains from the world, I think refines. It's just not important to make it in the first round. Probably there's a lot of learning for the startups. We always tell the startups that as many number of people that you meet and as much of criticism that comes to you is always a great learning for you. And of course, fortunately, Samudra also has a partner who is a Maharashtrian. So the core team member that we have, Akshay is also there. So that made things really, really positive for us to take this team. And then I was continuously getting inputs from Samudra on the kind of interactions that he had, though he joined the program midway. But those 50% of the sessions that he did, in spite of being a very, very immersed startup, I would say in my system is one of the immersed startups, he found this interaction very, very useful. And that's where we feel that as a university, we've been able to add our piece of whatever little cake in that particular pudding that is being made for the startup. I was also very impressed by the way the grand finale was done. That is where I saw Alankar Joshi for the first time that day, and the kind of members who were present there, and the kind of conviction that everyone had, that really excited me to get even more closely associated with Garje Marathi, where I saw that there is bunch of people who are really genuinely wanting to help the startups. It was just not about a kind of a funding round that happens with a VC, but this was a little different kind of a round that I saw here. And I think this is what we require back here in India from people who are overseas and who have moved out of the Indian soil and who really want to come back and contribute. So I'm really fortunate to have made this first connection with Anand Ganuji. And through Anand, I have been able to reach out to a large community. And I understand that Alankar Joshi is based out of Singapore and he's connected across the world. Also, Sudhir Kadam. We've always been hearing about Sudhir Kadam day in and day out, from my startups. So I think it is a great endeavor. And we will be very fortunate if in coming times we are able to get at least one of our startups to get some funding that can come from the overseas partner, because that will open up doors for a lot of Indians to start believing in the fact that this can really happen. In spite of all the odds that we have, of the government regulations and the government issues, rules, regulations. But if we're able to find ways to do this, I think we will be able to open up new doors and bridge the gaps between people who are really, knowledgeable, intelligent, have some disposable incomes to invest in India. And I think I'm all in it, and I'll be happy to share more number of startups with you in coming times and understand more from you on all the initiatives that you do. But I genuinely feel from the depth of my heart that it was extremely, extremely helpful to my startup, having connected to you. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. Hi, Alankar. You have been at the helm of this entire program all along, connecting with Samudragupta and his team in the midway. Was it a challenge? What was your experience, and how do you see going ahead the path for Samudragupta and his team and our other startups? Over to you, Alankar.
Thanks, Anand. So actually, it was a bit of a situation, right? Because we started the program, and in the beginning, we actually allocated mentors to all teams. You know, we had at least two mentors assigned to each team, and based on the backgrounds and so on, right? And Samudra and team joined half midway. And given that, Cognilements actually as a business was like more developed than some of the other teams that we were, part of the program. So in that sense, it didn't really. So in terms of having product market fit, all that was already that had already happened. So, but they benefited obviously from the latter half of the program, and I found this such a situation where there was no mentor assigned. We couldn't actually go back and look for mentors midway into the program. So by default, I kind of became the mentor, right? Without and I didn't even realize it. Probably Samudra also didn't realize it, and probably by the end we kind of realized that that I'm actually mentoring. And for me, it's been really good to get directly involved with one of the companies in our cohort, because I'm very passionate about startups, about venture capital, and especially businesses that founders and their teams who have a lot of potential, and there is real substance there. There's real business there, right? I mean, where there are revenues, there's a real problem that's being solved, and that's what I clearly saw with Cognilements. And what they needed to work on was basically the whole story to get the pitch right. And it was, because, and that's the nature of entrepreneurship, right? There are many opportunities that come at you, and then you need to focus on the signal and be able to then present that in a consistent way to potential investors, other stakeholders. And over a period of time, that's what we actually managed to do, and I thought we did really well. So I mean, Samudra, you'll agree with me, if you look at what your earlier versions were of the pitch and what you actually finally present, there's a world of a difference, right? I mean, somebody would not even know it's the same company, but
Yes,
it's totally different. So in terms of being able to tell a very coherent, very consistent story, telling it with numbers, and being incredibly passionate about it. So yeah, I mean, it's been fantastic experience. In fact, I am most likely, getting involved in advising the team in the future as well. I believe that the sky is the limit, personally. So, for Samudra and his team. So happy to be part of the journey.
Great. And we don't discuss finance in the public forum, but there are a lot of interest. A lot of people have contacted me post meeting also about Samudragupta and his team. And you see, this is such a great experience that Samudragupta and his team, who have already traveled a distance, still they are able to take a guru or take a mentor. That also shows a greatness and open-mindedness of a startup. That is a first and foremost important point on anybody's growth and progress. Having said that, Dr. Apoorva also, as a good teacher or a good guru, she had so much good affection for her startups and her team. So this is all a good experience. Alankar and our Garje Marathis team, who have been spending hours together, and sometimes I feel sort of so embarrassed to ask somebody in the middle of a day and say, can you please speak with this and that person for next 2 hours? But still people spare time, So this is what brings us together. So this is a great experience. I'm really happy that we all are together, and I think we will make a difference. Dr. Apoorva, you have been really, actually, she is a professor and a teacher such a long time. Whenever I talk to her, before that I prepare myself, that I have to be, I have to be ready with proper statements. But that's how you need. That's what you need. Thanks a lot for that. Samudragupta, can you just say concluding thanks or whatever vote of thanks to the team and to anybody from your team, if they want to speak anything, that's okay. Then we can conclude the meeting. Over to you, Samudragupta.
Right. So I would like to give the opportunity to my co-founder Akshay also, who had been part of this journey, because Alankar mentored us differently. Although Akshay coming from IIT Guwahati, we have Chayan also who takes care of the R&D. We were working in a different dimension altogether, and suddenly we got a spark which ignited the engine in a different way. So yeah, Akshay would be in a better position, and then I would take the opportunity to conclude it.
Okay. Akshay, over to you.
So the thing with our team is our as a team, as a core team, right? We are six guys, but when we set out to build that team, right, our focus was we get the best we can get from our networks to handle each aspect of what we are setting out to do. But as we got closer to the stage where we now had market fit and needed to raise funds, right? uh, we realized we did lack experience there, right? We did lack someone who could sort of hold us through that. And that is where the sessions we have had with GMG have come in so handy, and the mentorship sessions we have had with Alankar, his feedbacks, rest of the team's feedbacks have come in very handy because, ultimately everyone needs a coach, right? And that's where I think GMG has helped us a long way to go a long way on our journey towards you know the next step of our startup. It's been a very
Thank you.
enlightening journey because I mean, given the time and the uh, stage that we were in as a startup, right? The next sort of next steps felt like we did not know and where to go as to how to approach the next step, and that is where Alankar's mentorship and overall sessions have sort of shown us the way and let us know there's a lot more to know and a lot more to seek out.
Okay. Thank you very much. Nicely put.
And just to add to this, I really thank you, Anand Ganu sir, for dropping a message late night on in between, and then we need to talk early in the morning, and then when you called and say we have a program, and although we have gone half through, and we would give you a special opportunity to come in. That is really really great of you for inviting us. We had been always the children who is always blessed with the supreme force, someone sitting in the upstairs. When we needed office space or when we needed a good acceleration program, we ended up landing at Apoorva Palkar ma'am's office. And today we are being a startup, having our own office inside Pune University. And that's something which we say proudly. And things have been really going good since the day we have that office. We had a puja and things have really worked out. This time we were looking forward how we should go and approach for funds. And today we have huge traction from few big names from India who have invested in all the successful unicorns, and we are talking to them, and we are talking to them in a different zone. The confidence level is something different. We know what we are talking. We have recently represented us in Meet the Drapers. Again, that 4-minute pitch got us to the second, third, and we are waiting for the fourth round, discussion. So all of these things coming nicely. We appreciate and thank you for inviting us, giving us the opportunity to be part of the pole position on the demo day. And it has really worked out because out of all those 8, 10 panelists and judges, we are in talks with 2 of them with the discussions going forward. So
Beautiful.
I would like to thank you from the core of our heart.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. I have